Welcome to Down at the Barns, following the story of people and their love of classic cars. Everything from restoration to electric conversion.
Hello and welcome to Down at the Barns. Please subscribe on the link below. And today I want to take you through something a little bit different. We've got a new car in the workshop today. And it's this wonderful Land Rover 90. It came to us about 3 or 4 weeks ago, just for a quick measure up and understand what the vehicle was. And then went back to the owner to take the engine out. And it had, dare I say, a bit of a beast in there. It was a 350 cubic inch, so that's about 5.7 litres, something like that. An American V8 in it, coupled up to a 4-speed auto box, driving through the transfer box, and then obviously 4-wheel drive. That was quite a lump to take out. I didn't want to do it, so I gave it back to the customer. He took the engine out for us. Don't know what he's going to do with it. So that's, but clearly he's going to get a lot better economy out of electric than he was out of the V8. So plan for this is to obviously put the transfer box back in there. We're just getting that rebuilt, and then close couple the 310 Newton meter 150 kilowatt motor through a reduction box directly into the transfer case. So we'll have 2.7 to 1 reduction ratio, so we'll have about just under 800 Newton meters going into the transfer case. It'll give a top speed of around about 85 mile an hour, which I think is probably enough in something like this. Having driven this before we took the engine out, I've not experienced Land Rovers before, and it was quite scary. So I'm sure that sort of top speed is going to be fine for the car. It's got some quite big knobbly tyres on it. It's got permanently engaged all-wheel drive. So economy is going to be an issue with it, right? So we're expecting somewhere around about 1.5, if we're really lucky, up to about 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Most of the cars that we convert end up in the 4 to 5 miles per kilowatt hour. In which case, to get a decent range out of it, it's going to need quite a big battery. So we're looking at somewhere around about 80 kilowatt hour pack in it, which should give us between 120 and 160 miles, something like that. That's the objective, but I think first time we've done it, so let's see what happens. So as you can see, there is quite a lot of room in the front here, which is a good thing given the size of pack that we want to put in here. But we do have to package some other things. So one of the features about this car is the power steering. It's got a power steering, it's got a steering box rather than a steering gear as we find in most of the cars. It's power steering. I think you need it with the size of the car, the weight of the car and the size of the tyres on this thing. But it's quite a large unit, and it's going to take quite a lot of power to drive that off of an electric system. Originally it was run off the engine, so we've got to make sure that the DC-DC will supply enough power to drive a pump that will service this power steering system down here. Over there you've got the heater box, originally supplied obviously off the hot water from the engine. We'll probably just end up putting 2 ceramic heaters in there, 2 PTC heaters in there. That should provide enough heat for the cabin, keep people in the back there nice and warm. And then we've got to package up some other stuff like the vacuum pump for the booster, and then all the other bits and bobs that go with the system like ECU, that sort of thing. But there's so much space here. But 80 kilowatt hour pack is going to take up quite a bit of room. Idea is quite a bit of it obviously going to go in the front here. From the bulkhead rearwards is basically going to be motor, and then if necessary we'll put a little bit more battery down the back of the car, try and even up the weight distribution, although that's probably less of an issue with this car than many of them. So here we are inside the Land Rover now. You can see we've already stripped out quite a bit of the parts. 12 volt battery here underneath the passenger seat. We're going to keep that. This is all open up now. It's obviously where the transfer box will sit underneath here. We have the gear lever coming up here. I think we're going to use our new gear lever, which is an integrated unit, has a sensor on it, and it's a pretty standard part for us now. It's actually quite a nice piece of kit. Drive, neutral, reverse. And then we've had quite a discussion with the customer about the instrument panel. They want to keep this aluminium fabrication in here. It's obviously non-standard. They want to keep the original radio head here, and it's got speakers and things underneath here. But essentially, we've got all the normal gauges here: fuel, water temperature, speed, obviously, and then RPM. I think we're going to reconfigure a lot of this, make it so much more relevant to electric vehicle. And we're going to put a digital screen, LCD or LED screen in here, which will run all of the information feedback to the driver, and allow things like different modes, etc. So I think we've got a plan of how we're going to do this. We just got to get on and do it. This is where fuel filler is on the 90. Given the size of the battery, we're going to fit CCS as well, obviously. So we're going to cut the right size shape hole in this aluminium plate, and I think that will fit in there quite nicely. So you'll have CCS and 7 kilowatt type 2 charging. We've just sourced a new 7 kilowatt charger, which has got quite a nice feature in it. It's got a 240 volt inverter in there as well. So we'll be able to take 240 volt single phase out and be able to put a 32 amp plug inside the car, and then it's a mobile power station for you. You can go and run a fridge if you're going camping. You can run all your lights for the weekend. 77 or 80 kilowatt pack in here. You'll be able to run a lot of domestic appliances for quite a long time. So that's a cool new feature that we're going to put into the car, and I think it really suits the way that a Land Rover will get used. So I'm really happy that we got that now in our portfolio, and I'm looking forward to actually fitting that. So I had a conversation with the customer about how long it's going to take. I said 3-4 months. He said, I'll give you 8 weeks. So we're on a countdown, and we're on it, and hopefully in 8 weeks time we'll be able to cruise out of here in this car.
Join us next time down at the Barns, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.